backs away from Dak, gives Bivol a chance to test him again.
So we'll have to see what happens once he gets hit clean.
And gain character as he lands a big right hand here.
Knows how to get every inch of his leverage on Max.
Fast down, Russian.
Right. But really put up a fight. Can Pascal do it?
Roy Jones, he had too much power and clocked Herrera with a left hook in the 12th round.
Really kind of a tweener, 68, 75-pound kind of guy.
Counterpuncher didn't give much to work with.
No, Chalema didn't give him much work with at all. After we see that with his legs, then we'll know. Pascal doing very good in this first round.
Yep.
Pascal will give him a little bit more to work with, but Pascal is dangerous, so he'll have to protect himself.
Total of how many rounds? How many judges' cards?
His thighs are larger too.
Yes.
He just is more of a...
Sorry, more, 60-something.
away from Dak, gives Bivol a chance to test him against the ropes. In the first round, totally dominated by Dmitry Bivol. And Bivol's power seemed to handle that pretty well until partially blocked by Bivol, but solid effort by...
Much more relaxed and fluid now than he was early in his career when he was more athletic and sharp.
36 fighting a 27-year-old guy. Usually
to get the young guy, Roy, right? Like in an exchange when he's not expecting it, in between.
Right.
Than a guy like, let's say, Kovalev. But it does feel to me like Bivol has to work a lot harder.
Jean Pascal throwing hard. Bivol coming back. Suddenly Pascal is not throwing. Bivol trying to slow Bivol down, but it's hard to win the fight.
You guys are not going to outwork the young workhorse, but you can outsmart it with his legs. So we'll have to see what happens once he gets hit clean. He won't take much risk, but Pascal will take risk.
Figure it out a little bit more along the way.
Beasts off whatever opportunity you give him. Pascal wants to limit those opportunities.
To win the fight on points.
Okay. So his goal is to...
How his legs react, because Pascal...
He's getting hit cleanly right now.
Hand Pascal just landed.
No, it's funny, too. King would call trickery once upon a time in order to... He's more like a 68, 75-pound hybrid.
He throws 3 and 4 sometimes instead of just 1.
They don't look unhappy. Max Kellerman talked earlier about the trickery.
Bivol staying very disciplined while Pascal... The hook before the right hand came, but the hook came, but the hook is what drove him to the canvas.
Just missing with the left hook. A little bit behind the ear.
For a full round instead of him being the attacker all the time.
And now here's a strange slip. Well, one of those right hands landed.
With both hands, I mean, why not? Good jab by Bivol of distraction.
I think the only fighter I've ever known who could have generated a hundred to throw a few more punches than he's thrown before, and down goes Pascal. Okay, falling on a swing in the miss.
This is a whole different ball game. Being an athlete and being a boxer, two different things.
Two totally different.
On both hands with a move like that would be Roy Jones. Roy Jones isn't fighting anymore.
Pascal backing him up constantly, keeping the fight in the middle of the ring.
Always relaxed, yet ready to go, because his feet are disabled now.
Yeah, it's like Bivol doesn't play into any, but I think there's a sense with Eastern European fighters that
4 consecutive rounds against 4 different opponents in which Bivol had held opponents to
where he throws both hands at the same time while he's coming forward. That's MMA.
Activity has come to an end, and once again, he's keeping his hands at home. Pascal was a huge Roy Jones fan, though.
Yeah, he was. Bivol seemed to have lost a shot by Bivol.
Tremendous body shot by Bivol. Pascal focusing to the body in this round.
Trust me.
We're supposed to trust you, Roy. He landed in single digits against Bivol. That was an unusually active round for Pascal. He almost never threw.
Knew better, but was antagonizing Tony
in this round between the hard shots, into which he really put some effort. Pascal. Seven. We check in once again with our unofficial scorer, Harold.
That hook to the body. He brought his whole body with it.
With left hook. One punch at a time for Pascal.
Well, but Alvarez and Pascal spent numerous of years in the gym together, so they knew each other very well.
The thing about Alvarez is he was a good enough
boxer. Maybe it says a lot about Pascal's chin and durability. And that's what Pascal was trying to do, and now the fire momentarily goes out.
See how a lot of times the old guy will make one last stand to see if he can do something, and if it...
A little bit of the bloom come off the Bivol rose if he isn't Harold.
Well, Jim, I got a 60 to 50.
Knows how to get every inch of his leverage on it, Jim. Max.
And game character as he lands a big right hand here.
They're going to know each other that well, and for Alvarez still to do as well as he did with Pascal.
Off, landing only 2 out of 17 punches, while Bivol was a
handed guy at the height of Kovalev's
coming. Hard shots. Bivol waited for the storm to end, and now it's his turn.
But that's what I mean about...
Definitely won't pack it in, I can promise you that.
He's not a pack-it-in kind of a person.
Less power. Same thing, so Pascal can't counter with a right hand.
Uppercut by Bivol.
We remember the rounds where the other guy was able to fight back a little bit. The credit for knocking him out.
And now tries to follow it up. This might be the moment he was looking for, Roy.
In the middle of the ring, he's using that left jab beautifully to set up a hard right hand.
And the last dominant Russian.
He's fought the next tier down, the older fighter who used to be elite, the younger fighter.
With the left hook to the body, landed both accurately.
Discovered now, and that's a whole other problem set.
But he can do more unpredictable things in there. Am I right in saying that? Pascal expended a lot of energy in the first 30 seconds of the round. The 8th, that was the good news, but Bivol landed
fighting Alvarez. And now
Pascal is getting to land some good power shots.
Was very upfront in telling us.
Can't throw it all the way though, Jim, because Bivol is going to have sense enough to go to his body after this, so he can't throw it all the way.
That's what he's doing now. He's applying, as in the 2 fights against Sergey Kovalev, he'll take frightening punishment to try to stay in there.
Yes, he will.
That was the good news, but Bivol landed 21 by CompuBox count.
He's a dominant fighter, Bivol. A tough overall package that he presents. With maybe a better overall game, time will tell. A more athletic, kind of longer. The way Bivol you showed on the replay
is that I catch him with a big right hand and knock him. Now Pascal looking away from Bivol while punching at him.
Land a beautiful straight right hand when Bivol came in with his own right hand. Great counter right hand right there.
Bivol bouncing a little bit to try to warm up his legs and get ready for wild flurries by Pascal in the 7th round that suddenly got Chad Dawson in trouble. Spending a lot of energy in the first minute and still has 2 minutes.
Here and there gave him certain difficulties, but it really speaks to Bivol's
the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. That's an amazingly high standard right there. Just is he erupt like a storm, or does he stand back passively and wait to see what I'm going to do?
Shot is that body attack. That's when he was doing business.
I agree with you, Max. We'll see what happens.
Should Mikey Garcia have
become the best light heavyweight in the world, or at least prove it?
And get ready for round 10 of a scheduled 12. It's Max Kellerman to both sides of the equation, but basically I agree with you, Max.
Yeah, kind of the second highest level, where we remember the time.
On a night when Dawson thought he was totally in control.
Now, Pascal's doing good, the best work of
Now it's the passive weight.
100%. Both guys seem to have a little mouse under their...
But he's told us, he told me in a post-fight interview in Monte Carlo.
He's had so many personas in the fight. Raised by Jean Pascal.
They got to be ugly, but mostly blocked. And then Bivol's are landing much more cleanly. Is also fighting. And also landing punches.
Bivol to sleep.
Right.
By coming out with a total absence of activity.
Somebody needs to turn that mouse into a rat.
Enough to compete with Errol Spence?
I think he's big enough, and his style of boxing is definitely making him...
I felt that he's really been at risk. I thought Pascal landed one good, not great, but it was a good round.
Pascal showed a lot of heart.
Big punches. Chalemba to a lesser degree.
I remember back in 2009, it was one of those Bivol must wonder every time he comes out. What's going to happen now? Sense of activity, and looks for the moment when he can leap into it. Pascal almost loses his balance.
I don't think it's a smart move for him to necessarily challenge Errol Spence because
has not been a
down in his last fight. So at this point, it would seem like Bivol may be...
But in a way, because of that,
tonight he doesn't seem to
imagine sitting out there right now in the boxing world watching this on TV. Pascal has made it into the 12th round with Dmitry Bivol. I'm sure Roy Jones is not.
However impressed or not
Pascal for him. So
listen,
styles make fights. So Bivol not having a heavy jab like Kovalev has make it to this point though.
Right.
So this is why the fights are so interesting for us.
it's a question because
Is not able to get him out with the right hand or the
I'm scared of Bivol. I'm not concerned about whether I have to fight that
how
guy.
impressed you are by Bivol. You don't think it's going to be easy.
Nope.
He's going to be a
The one
tough
thing you can say is there are very interesting
dominant figure around whom the division revolves. But in fact, the division gets even more interesting. There's no clear front runner in the division. There's no...
Decision, Dmitry Bivol.
So unanimous decision.